back in Brendan and Butch.
All right, thank you so much, Shannon. Islanders and Devils will be the Islanders and Rangers on Saturday in the preseason finale. Devils will take on the Bruins on Saturday to wrap up their preseason schedule. And for the New York Islanders in net tonight, Semyon Varlamov back in goal, and expect him to play the whole game, although Ilya Sorokin is on the bench as well if he is needed. And on the other side, the goaltenders did make the trip for the New Jersey Devils. Not everybody did, but Mackenzie Blackwood did. Blackwood had an injury-plagued season last year. Started with heel surgery, just never quite got it going. They still have high hopes for Mackenzie Blackwood. So Brock Nelson will take the opening faceoff against Michael McLeod. Islanders do have a number of regulars in the lineup. Their presumed top line of Barzal, Parise, and Palmieri, but this line up there as well. Nelson, Bellows, and Beauvillier tonight getting the start for the New Jersey Devils. A lot of high numbers on the roster, I think, is probably the kindest way to say who they brought with them here to UBS Arena.
They didn't bring their A team. Let's just say that.
Off the opening faceoff, the Devils control. Ryan Graves will send this one ahead for Miles Wood, tapped on for McLeod. There are some NHLers on the ice for them right now, as this is offside against the Devils just 10 seconds in. And there you see the new bench boss of the New York Islanders, Lane Lambert, his first chance to be a head coach since he was in Milwaukee of the American Hockey League back in 2009-2010.
And he's been ready certainly for this moment for a long time, and he's not going to be nervous. Brendan, he has enough experience, and he won a Stanley Cup with Barry Trotz, so I expect him to do a heck of a job for this Islander team.
One of 10 new head coaches around the National Hockey League this season. Yes.
Yeah, I've been that route where, they replace coaches.
I mean, that's nearly a third of the league.
I know. Expectations are always high, and who do you blame?
The head coach. Blackwood puts that one out of play, and here you see Lane Lambert, who again took over from Barry Trotz, and he brought a couple of new assistant coaches with him. So a clean new bench for the New York Islanders, despite bringing back the majority of the players that they had here a year ago.
Yeah, that makes everybody excited. There's Johnny McLean. He's a goal scorer, so let's hope he can bring some of his magic and put it in the into the lineup for the Islanders. And Dougie Huda's a great defenseman, very solid player, played a lot of hockey, tough player, competitor.
Here's Ryan Pulock looking backdoor, put it in the skates of Zach Parise. Matt Barzal, Kyle Palmieri, Zach Parise, the former Devil, out there representing the Islanders here tonight. Boquist the other way. Pulock and Pelech are on the ice as well as Boquist slips in down the right side. Boquist backhand hit the outside of the goal. Pelech finished the check. Puck in front of the goal. Tapped around loose by Holtz. It's still alive and comes out for Brendan Smith, whose shot is snared by Varlamov. Well, we mentioned John McLean. We mentioned Doug Huda as well, who's in there talking with Noah Dobson and one of the new Islander defensemen, Alex Romanov.
He's got a lot of experience behind the bench, an assistant coach with several hockey teams, and he plays hard, Brendan, and he demands good hard play and good physical play and good defensive play. So this will be an exciting moment for the defenseman again to learn more things about how to play in your own zone.
Doug Huda spent the last 6 seasons on the Detroit Red Wings bench under Jeff Blashill. As this one is thrown to the front, Robin Salo there to clean it up. Salo and Ledoux, the two guys we mentioned that are fighting for roster spots, are playing together here tonight. And here cutting in is Atu Ratu, and he got a little tug on the hands and a penalty coming.
So good speed to the outside, didn't he? And it kept those feet moving and draws a penalty, and that's what you want from the Islanders, and that's what Lane was talking about with his team, is that he wants them playing fast, and that's a pretty good example. This kid here has made a pretty good impression over the spring, right? There's a little hook, a little off balance, but a lot of good things to like about him, and I think that's what Barzal was talking about. There's some good young players that are going to be playing with this organization in the very near future.
Spent last year in Finland, finished up in Bridgeport as the Islanders power play goes to work. It's a hooking call against Makita Ohota. He's in the box for the Devils as Barzal works the goal line for Palmieri through Parise, out and out of the zone and all together as Noah Dobson will retrieve it there.
Watch their power play practice a couple days ago, Brendan. They moved the puck extremely quick. Let's just see if they act like it's a hot potato and move it in a hurry.
Barzal finds Dobson, fires off the backboards, came to Nelson, couldn't stick it back on net. Blackwood's lost his stick. It's behind the goal as Dobson sets up out high. Palmieri looks things over. Dobson Moves for Barzal. Drifting in. Parisi's in front. Dobson again. That one deflected by McLeod and hit the glass. Islanders unable to hold the zone.
Looking for big things from Noah Dobson to keep moving in the same direction as we saw last year. A tremendous improvement in his play, his maturity, his confidence.
This one held in by Barzal, trying to escape the grasp of Boqvist. Barzal finds a soft spot on the right wing wall.
We should just call him Houdini because he does escape a whole lot, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Nelson, no look, but no one there.
Yeah, he was looking for Koivula.
This is cleared down by New Jersey. There's 38 seconds left on the power play for the Islanders. Power play that was 21st in the National Hockey League a year ago. Jim Hiller was in charge of the Islanders power play for the last few seasons. He is now on the LA Kings coaching staff.
Johnny McLean probably handling, along with Lane Lambert, the power play assignment.
4 forwards on the second unit as well for the Islanders, at least in this configuration, with Beauvillier working behind for Ratu. Angled off the boards for Kiefer Bellows. Here's Salo. Slapped down for Beauvillier. Power play set to expire. Beauvillier's wrist shot gobbled up by Blackwood just as a Hotuk comes out of the box. And we return to 5-on-5.
Anthony could hear the goaltender giving his Beaver imitation and knew he didn't have much time, Brendan, so decided to fire it at the net and see what happens from there. But good control in the offensive zone. That's a good start for the Islander power play as far as territory. When we're talking about an area that they struggle with, and the two coaches talking to one another, and Lane Lambert like probably already saying, hey, we could do this maybe a little bit better with Johnny McLean in the power play.
John McLean last season was in San Jose, just 1 year in San Jose on that staff after 3 seasons in Arizona. And we expect big things out of John McLean, considering he's a former broadcaster as well. One of our teammates.
Yeah, we got to talk nicely about him, don't we?
This one's chopped away from Ledoux. Mason Geertsen motoring in. Big Geertsen lost it. Meanwhile, Salo was engaged on the far side of the ice, getting tangled up with Brian Hallinan. Ross Johnston, Mason Geertsen, Matt Martin, all having words. I don't think any of these guys need to prove anything to each other in preseason, but you never know. No,
you never know. Penn, a lot of times guys that are trying to make the team will start something. They want to make an impression, but certainly Ross Johnston doesn't have to do that. But take a look at the left side of your screen as Salo being strong, and he has to do that. He's got to fight, protect that crease area, not let anybody just sort of slide by him. Hallinan was driving to the net like he should, but certainly careful scrutiny is going to be observed by the coaching staff on the two defensemen, Ledoux and Salo.
All indications are Salo's had the leg up on everybody else for that final defensive spot on the Islanders. I guess you just call it their 6th defenseman. There might be another spot to be had in terms of being the 7th guy and not necessarily playing every day. But Robin Salo seems to have slotted in alongside Scott Mayfield, but Mayfield's also nursing an injury at this time as Graham Clark's shot goes wide.
And then you have to, I think, count Aho in the mix too, Brendan. He's had a lot of, over the last couple of years, he's seen a lot of ice times, Salo and Aho, so, and along with Ledoux possibly. So you're right. I think you're exactly right, though. There's a 6th and a 7th spot open, and assuming Mayfield would be the 5th.
Well, this is Robin Salo last season. When he was on the ice, he was paired a lot with Andy Green, but also played with Scott Mayfield and Noah Dobson quite a bit. He played 21 games in the National Hockey League last year in his first season in North America. Dobson overskated the puck, and it's taken from him by Nolan Foote, who's in a battle as well to make this Devils roster, as Parise got clipped by Graves. Puck came along. Severson's pass went right on through Foote, and then turned around by Romanov.
Good gap control by the Islanders again, and number 28. I'm going to get used to him hitting people because I think he was in the top 5 as far as attacks on the opposition.
Alex Romanov, who the Islanders traded a first-round pick for at the draft this year in order to help shore up their defense. He's 22 years old. This will be his 3rd season in the National Hockey League, coming over from the Montreal Canadiens. Here's Barzal. Good look across. Palmieri's shot was deflected on the try by Damon Severson.
Certainly Lane Lambert is hoping that combination works for the Islanders. Palmieri, the shooter, the scorer. Barzal, the playmaker.
Ball with a shot that goes wide. Brendan Smith comes over to the Devils as a free agent from Carolina. Pinching in and now backing off as the Islanders come ahead. And here's Salo stretching the legs a little bit. Got to center ice and pushed it deep. Smith is after it.
Smith, a good utility player, plays defense, plays forward, got some grit to his game. And wherever he goes, you know you're going to get 100% from him, whether it's the Rangers, the Hurricanes. Is it the Hurricanes you mentioned?
Yep, that's where it was last year.
And the Devils. So it won't be no surprise to me if he makes their team.
Ball trying to leave the zone. It's Boquist helping him along the left wing side. And as he shot this one down, they just say he was shy of the red line and turn it into an icing call and a face-off back inside the Devils zone. And there's another youngster for the Islanders and Simon Holmstrom, first-round pick in 2019 for the Isles, who made a couple of transactions yesterday, sending down Holmstrom and Ratu and then bringing them right on back to the Islanders to play in a game here today. And you see Romanov getting himself settled on the bench as well. Not
a lot of openings when you talk about forwards with the Islander team. You have to have an outstanding camp to be able to crack this veteran lineup.
Koivula's shot scooped up off the ice by Blackwood, and he'll hang on. They'll do it again when we come back. We played 6.5 minutes so far. Preseason action, Islanders and Devils tonight. No score.
Let's show the world what it means to be a fan. The world's largest collection of fan gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
This winter, make sure your tires are ready for adventure. Right now at Midas, buy 3 Cooper tires and get 1 free. Schedule your tire appointment at Midas.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-453-0767. 1-800-453-0767.
When you have NHL Center Ice, you're in control of what games you watch every night of the season. With up to 40 out-of-market games a week, you can follow your favorite teams and stars of the NHL, no matter where you live. Never miss a Matthews goal, a Makar check, a McDavid rush, or a Markstrom save, all from the best seat in your house. NHL Center Ice, the game lives where you do. Order NHL Center Ice today.
I pride myself on making other players around me better. So for those people that say I need someone to play with, I mean, we have guys here that I really like playing with. I love playing with Zach and Palms last year. I love playing with Leezy and Bo. But I feel like this core is really good and determined, and that's what it comes down to.
Well, so far in this preseason, we've seen Matt Barzal play with Kyle Palmieri and Zach Parise, a guy who works awfully hard and a guy who knows how to finish.
Well, they had great chemistry last year. I thought that was one of the bright sides to the season, and there wasn't many bright sides, no doubt about that. But Zach's a pretty easy guy to play with, really. He's a straightforward, hard-working guy, goes to the net, keeps the game simple. And as I mentioned earlier on, Palmieri's a goal scorer, and Barzal's a passer, so that has potential to be a really good line.
Puck jammed up in front of the net. Mason Geertsen comes away with it for the Devils. Matt Martin took it off his stick, and Robin Salo forced it ahead. Geertsen took a shoulder from Martin. And the puck taken and shot in by Brian Pino, who's come over from the Washington Capitals. And Pino driving into the crease will cause a commotion.
Didn't you say it was exhibition? What are you pushing and shoving? But you've got to earn your space out there, and you certainly don't want to give the opposition the thought that you can be pushed away. And of course, Ross Johnston, that's part of his makeup, part of his game. And Barley says, well, we'll just take a face-off. I talked to Varlamov, too, a couple days ago, Brendan, and, we know he had a tough camp the year before, and things weren't right for him, and then, of course, the team wasn't right, and he said he's feeling really good about his game. He's ready to play, and he's healthy, and mentally he's got himself in the right spot. Spends his summers in Texas. I said, Texas, really? I love it, Butch.
Oh, turnover right in front, and there was a chance for Varlamov.
His in-laws are from Texas, so they had a great time.
I mentioned his rough training camp. He had what we were told at the time was just nagging soreness that kept him out of really the entire training camp, and he missed the first 6 games of the regular season as well, and never really quite got on track the way he had the year before when he finished 5th in the Vezina voting.
And his, you know, the way his team played in front of him, you know, they didn't help him. I mean, he went through a stretch where he needed some help, and his teammates couldn't quite help him, and then they all struggled, didn't they?
Just a tough start to the season for the Islanders last year, and dug themselves a hole that they spent the rest of the season trying to dig out of.
And you know what their attitude is? We can't change that. That's passé. Let's get past that. Let's think about what's going on this year, and we've got lots to prove.
Marty Talvini in on the forecheck for the Devils. As this is spun around to Severson. Damon Severson able to shake Kiefer Bellows. Dished off for Graves. Graves closing in with a shot, and he scores. Ryan Graves found his spot and put it right over the pad and under the glove of Semyon Varlamov.
Screenshot. I'm not sure if Varlamov got a good look at it. There was a pretty good battle going on in front with 2 Devils and the Islander defense. And Graves, who's got good offensive potential, you know, can score goals. Did it with Colorado, and you can see the Islanders. Everybody's back. They're trying to block out a little bit. A little cross-ice pass. Varlamov's just not able to pick it up. But great pass. Graves can shoot the puck. It just slides it by the goaltender Varlamov.
Scored just 2 goals in 54 games with the Avalanche last year, but found himself in a good scoring area as Matt Barzal wearing an A on his jersey here in this preseason game.
Well, more responsibility. It's his time. And
got a penalty coming up here against the Devils as well.
Interference.
This is offside.
That's one of the areas, and talking to Lane Lambert the other day, is that they want more transition through the neutral zone. And
minor penalty, 13, hook.
They're calling Barzal for the penalty, despite the fact that the Islanders were carrying the puck up the ice for quite some time.
Looked like he was trying to get through. He's a little bit bewildered.
Called him for a hook.
No, that's well there. Yes, you know what? There's a good call. That's yeah. Little stick action on the feet and knocked him off balance.
I got no problem with the call. The confusion lied that the Islanders were carrying the puck and they blew it down because of an offside. It seemed as if the penalty was going against the Devils.
Yep. But good call by the referee. I'm going to try and be pro referee this year, Brendan.
Let's see how long this lasts. I'll give you 5 more minutes.
Okay.
We've made it 8.5 minutes into the preseason. We'll see. Here's Severson, a shot, that one knocked down in front, and then Paul Ledoux tried to chop it out of the zone. Severson gloved it and kept it in. There's Alexander Holtz. The goal line, Miles Wood backhanded on net. Save made by Varlamov. The net has become dislodged. The reason for the whistle. Pretty good move there from Miles Wood, who missed almost all of last season. Played just 3 games last year, had hip surgery, and it was really a struggle for Miles Wood. And Devils fans certainly happy to see him healthy.
Yeah, he's a good hard player, terrific skater, goes to the net, and yes, it was a tough goal for him. And I talked to his dad, or I played golf actually with his dad, Randy, and they're all very happy that he's healthy. Tells me that his son hits the ball a mile on the golf course. I didn't really need to hear that, but we certainly wish him a healthy year. For it's always tough when any player has to sit out basically the whole year.
Randy Wood, former New York Islander.
Yeah, great skater also, so they're good DNA there.
We do want to say hello to all the Devils fans who are tuning in here tonight. We understand that you're with us not by choice necessarily, but we appreciate you tuning in. Try and keep you entertained and informed on your team. Here in the 5th of 6 preseason games for both teams.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of their key players in tonight's game. They have a very exciting group of forwards for me, Brendan, and didn't have trouble scoring goals. And last year was a problem for them keeping the puck out of their net, but they certainly can score. And there's Lindy, been around a long time and coached the Sabres and the Devils, and was it Dallas too?
Yep. This is his 3rd season as a New Jersey Devil head coach.
And a rough and gruff player in his day.
Played 691 games in the National Hockey League between the Sabres and the Rangers. Shot by Graham Clark, swallowed up by Varlamov here halfway through this power play for the Devils.
I like the way Varlamov has been moving in this first period. No extra movements. You hear me talk about it all the time, Brendan. When the goalies are quiet, it just seems like they're better. They're always in position, and they're not scrambling to get themselves in position. And thus far, Varlamov really staying between the pipes, staying in the crease area. Looks very confident.
Off the draw, Devils get it. Clark sends it over, and a shot by Foot, knocked down and then covered. Puck was loose there for a moment, which got an extra whack on Varlamov from Nathan Bastian looking for that puck.
Bastian will hammer you. He plays a very physical game, an agitating type game.
Led the Devils in hits last year, and that was with 12 games he played in Seattle. He was taken off waivers and then returned and came back to the Devils where he started the season. Cleared out by Romanov with 48 seconds left on this kill for the Islanders.
Good effort by Romanov. Won the one-on-one battle along the boards. Was determined to get the puck out and succeeded. Andersley loves the new addition. Says he's our kind of hockey player. He's an Islander.
Bastian brings it below the goal line. Then Foot tried to serve one across. Pino gave it back to him, and Foot rings one off the crossbar. Good shot from a tough angle. Didn't find the net. Then Clark shot blocked by Ryan Pulock. Ratu after it, can't get it out. It's kept in by Nimitz. And this will come out of the zone. Graham Clark back to take it. Final 8 seconds running off the Matt Barzal hooking minor. Couple of saves for Varlamov on the first Devils power play of the night. Kevin Ball sends it in. Hallinan got there, so did Dobson. Hallinan came away with the puck. Geertsen centers. It came to Paul Mary. And he drops off for Barzal and takes his time and weaves his way up the ice. Got to the red line, or at least close enough.
Yeah, I was gonna, you're doing baseball now. That wasn't in the aerial play, wasn't it?
Yeah, close enough. Especially for a preseason game, I think.
Were you able to use any hockey expressions, Brendan, when you were doing the baseball game?
No, none.
Nope, not at all, huh?
You know what, though? There was a French-Canadian player, and I was doing the game with Howie Rose, Mets game, a couple of weeks ago, and managed to talk about a few different hockey things while that at-bat was happening. Summit Series got brought up.
I hear you.
Here's Ross Johnston chipping down the boards and trying to make himself some space.
I thought when Aaron Judge would be hitting a few homers, you might mention the toy department. I thought that might come up.
You know what? I should have. You should have texted me on that. Shot in by Adam Pelech. Blackwood had it roll away. Simon Nimitz. That sandwich there between a couple of Islanders. This has moved on for Boqvist. They've got the shots at 7-5 in favor of the Devils at this point in the hockey game. As Boqvist and Matt Martin got tangled up, and now Adam Pelech moves it ahead, and Foot right in front of the benches, try to spin away from Koivu. Pelech to Pulock. Islanders making a change up front. Kiefer Bellows, an important training camp for him, jumps on the ice for the Islanders.
I watched Ross Johnson sort of corral Holtz into the boards there. This is kind of like a little love takeout.
Here's Nelson with speed. The drop pass. Bellows, the look was just out of the reach of Beauvillier as he tried to slow up. Graves moves it on. Talvidi to the wall. That shot was blocked. As Hallinan tried to get it to the net. Romanov moves it and keeps on moving as well. Nelson's pass didn't connect. Nelson back on it, keeps it from Talvidi and moves it on for Romanov once again. Alex Romanov played in 79 games for the Canadiens last year in his second season in the NHL. This one pushed on from Blackwood to Ball as Blackwood had a tough time with it back behind the net. Now Brendan Smith. I don't think he was looking for Miles Wood there, but hit him. There's Kevin Ball. Played 17 games in the NHL a year ago for McLeod, and now Salo and Wood tie up. Ratu tries to dig it out. He did. Spilled down to the ice and popped out to Salo, and he'll skate with it. Salo shut down at the blue line by McLeod. Islanders have to find another way out, and they do with Barzal. Matt Barzal leaned on by McLeod. Paul Mary gets involved. Poked out. Pelech tried to make a quick pass to Pulock. Wood got a piece of it. Now Barzal stationary at center. Didn't get that one in all too deep. Boquist sets it up for Graves, the lone goal scorer in this game.
Look how far up the ice the Islander defense still are, Brendan. They're really trying to control the neutral zone, and it's one of the things Lane Lambert wants his team to be so much better at, is controlling that neutral zone, not to back away and give up the blue line like it's ice cream.
Barzal and Pollock got their wires crossed on the entry, and it's ruled offside. 6:02 left here in the first period. Devils with a 1-0 lead on a goal from Ryan Graves.
Sunday, the countdown is officially on.
You know opening night is just a couple of days away.
Get primed for the new season with our ultimate preview and prediction shows.
I take the under there.
Western Conference Preview, Sunday, 7 Eastern on NHL Network.
Mom, are you okay?
I'm fine, honey. I just needed more oxygen. I also want you to know when my time comes, you won't have to worry about the cost of my homegoing.
What do you mean?
I was able to get final expense insurance, so you'll have enough, even a little extra. I just called the Final Expense Network, and they approved me right over the phone for $25,000 of coverage. It was so easy. I didn't even need a medical exam.
I'm just glad you're okay. I love you, Mom.
The average funeral costs $10,000. If you're age 50 to 80, why worry? For as little as $1 a day, you can have peace of mind from the brand names you know and trust. Your rates will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and your policy can never be canceled. It's just one simple phone call. Knowledgeable people are standing by to help and answer all your questions. Call now, 800-238-9377. That's 800-238-9377.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the NHL and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
The ice here at UBS with the Islanders' 50th anniversary logo this season. Islanders' first ever game 50 years ago tomorrow. And while we're speaking of the golden anniversary of the Islanders, how about a diamond anniversary? Butch, congratulations to Jiggs McDonald and his wife Marilyn, celebrating 60 years together tonight.
Yeah, congratulations, you two, and that's amazing. And Jiggs, look how young you look there. My goodness. And you know what? God bless Marilyn to put up with you for 60 years. I'll tell you what, amen, brother. Good job, Marilyn. But again, happy anniversary, guys, gals. Spectacular.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment.
And don't think we've heard the last of Jiggs. It is the 50th anniversary season, so you may hear his voice pop up a time or two as this season rolls along.
I'm not going to work with him, Brendan. That's not happening, is it?
No. Pre-recorded. We wouldn't subject you to that. Or subject him to that, depending on.
Yeah, I think that would be more succinct. No, hey, Jiggs, anytime Jiggs wants to step in for a minute, you're never going to hear me say no. I said a minute.
It's just one. Small doses, right? Here's Ledoux at the line. Moved over for Salo. Salo with a shot, and that one trickled on through. Blackwood hugging the post as the puck winds up in the crease, and then it's pitchforked out, but gloved down and held in by Salo.
Good job there by Salo. I mean, that was right walking a tightrope there.
There's Graves. Moving it in. Pino will shoot it down. And Salo comes out from below the goal line. Streaking on through is Soshnikov. We haven't called his name yet tonight. Nikita Soshnikov.
I'm glad you did. Now I know how to say it.
I wouldn't have put you up to that before we trained you properly. But he signed a one-year contract with the Islanders. Soshnikov, who spent the last 3 seasons in Russia, has spent some time in the NHL with Toronto back in Lou Lamoriello's days.
Yeah, he never got much of an opportunity in Toronto, and I think he expected to get some ice time, but Toronto Maple Leafs obviously have a pretty good core of forwards.
Must have played a little bit in St. Louis as Dobson's shot was blocked, but Soshnikov hasn't played in the NHL since the 18-19 season. So we'll see what he can bring to the New York Islanders, but as you mentioned, not a lot of forward spots available on this club as this is grabbed and held by Mackenzie Blackwood. There is Nikita Soshnikov catching his breath after a shift. Only got 4:19 to go before he gets a little longer break after the first.
What does the future of strength look like?
It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout.
Come on!
And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Broken air conditioner? That could be a $4,400 bill you weren't expecting. Fridge on the fritz? That could cost you $2,500. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered item breaks, call or click. That's it. And we'll repair or replace it for you. We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, electrical systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major system or appliance breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of trying to find trustworthy service people?
Saved us thousands of dollars.
And I know they have my back.
Last year alone, we saved our customers over $140 million. Don't wait until it's too late and you're stuck with a huge repair bill.
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-574-3914 or visit protectmybudget.com for a free no-obligation quote. That's 1-800-574-3914.
This is NHL Network.
Preseason action tonight. Devils with a 1-0 lead, 4:19 to go in period number 1. Isles Lab has brought the goods for this once-in-a-lifetime season. Check out the latest 50th gear, including hats, tees, mugs, and more. Shop the collection now inside the Isles Lab team store at UBS Arena or at NewYorkIslanders.com/IslesLab.
We got a whole bunch of stuff last year, right? When we went in and at the end of the year and stuff for your kids.
Isles Lab's a good place.
Yeah, there's some great stuff there.
Gotta get some 50th anniversary stuff.
Yeah, we'll be looking for it.
Here's Barzal trying to dance off the wall. He was shut down by Ball. Parisi intercepts. Worked it to Thompson. Thompson fumbled the puck, allowed McLeod to get on it. Couldn't connect with Wood. Islanders get it deep once again. Final 4 minutes here of the first period. Ryan Graves with the only goal so far. Here's Wood with speed, and he couldn't connect with that pass. It was angled nicely, just went behind him. Couldn't grab it on the way by.
Well, Noah Dobson is a young fellow who made tremendous strides last year, Brendan, and everybody talked about, you know, how fortunate he was to have Green and Chara kind of mentor him, and the Islanders, Barry Trotz and their staff took their time with him. I mean, everybody was like, oh, he needs more ice time, he needs more ice time, and they did all the right things with this guy because last year he blossomed into a legitimate hockey player and great offensive skills that he showed everybody in junior hockey, and we've been waiting for those offensive prowess, if you will, and boy, oh boy, if he can take another step this year, another 10-15% to his game, he's going to be a superstar in defense in this league.
Barzal over the line. Parisi looking for Palmieri. Thompson led the Islanders in time on ice last year. 21 minutes, 28 seconds per night. Here's Barzal. He's in and he scores. Nice little saucer pass from Ryan Bullock. Sends Barzal in all alone, and he ties it.
It wasn't quite in the point department, but it was in the right spot as Barzal in tight, couple of moves, gets it to the forehand and then zips it up and over the glove of the goaltender Blackwood who goes down. But Dobson hangs in there. We've been talking about the Islander defense staying there longer. That's Ryan Pollock pulls it down, big arms, a nice little pass. It's a bouncer, but look at Barzal. He gets it down, and then the quick hands up and over the glove of Blackwood. So again, aggressive defensive play by Ryan Pollock, and then there's a really good move by Barzal, something we've seen a number of times, something we want to see a whole lot this year.
Matt Barzal led the team in points for the 5th straight season. Tied with Nelson, but 15 goals last year for Matt Barzal. You think his ceiling is a lot higher than 15 goals, right?
I was talking to him yesterday, or 2 days ago, Brendan, and I said, Matt, I don't care what you think, you're a 100-point guy. And he looked at me and said, well, that might be a little bit of a reach. I said, I don't think so, Matt. You know, you've got a ton of skill. So, yes, that's where I think of him.
Well, starting next year, he's going to be paid like a 100-point guy.
Well, I didn't mention that.
There's Pollock's shot that got through. He gets the assist, the only assist on the Barzal goal at 16:38. It has tied the score here late in the first.
He did say that, you know, he feels like he'll get more points if the power play can be better. And he's right about that, because the power play has been abysmal the last 3 years. I mean, it's been in the bottom third of the league, and that just isn't good enough.
Last 3 seasons for the Islanders, if you combine all the teams in the league over the last 3 seasons, they were 19th over that time out of 32.
Yeah, that's just not. I maintain you have to be in the top 1/3, Brendan. So right now that's 10 or 11. When you get there, you got a chance. Along with the penalty kill is the same thing. It's got to be in, you know, 11 or better.
Well, you could expect the penalty kill, which was awfully good last year, for that to continue, as last year it was the responsibility of associate coach Lane Lambert. So he obviously knows what works and has his fingerprints on the penalty killing unit as the head coach.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure Doug Huda plays a big part in that PK now, and along with the coach. Coach has always got his finger in the pie there, and now he can blame somebody.
It's a good thing about being the head guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're in charge. What's going on here? But no, you know, the head coach is he'll delegate, but at the end of the day, it's you know, he's got to be the responsible individual. Here we are in a 1-1-3, Brendan, for the fans there. They're watching the game in the last couple of shifts. And, well, that's a defensive posture in the neutral zone. Not aggressive. It's trying to get the opposition to dump it in and play the chase game. Chip and chase game. Haven't said that yet. Thought I would get that in early.
Yep. Couldn't make it through a period without that. But if you're excited about a 1-1-3 in a preseason game, you are a hockey junkie. Congratulations. This is battle 4 at the blue line. It came through for Kiefer Bellows, catching the Devils in a change. It's a 3-on-2. Beauvillier found the trailing Dobson, and he scores. Snuck it right through the arm of Blackwood. And Dobson gives the Islanders a lead with a minute 29 to go in the first.
Nice 3-on-2. Blackwood's got to have that. I think, you know, it wasn't a great shot, but it was a well-executed 3-on-2 as the Islanders break down. It's an aggressive nature of the New Jersey Devils. They get caught watching, and now it's Kiefer Bellows. A bad change by the Devils, and Beauvillier spots it right away, and Dauber doesn't look to pass. I like that. Think about shooting. Kiefer Bellows was there for the rebound, but a good smart play by Anthony Beauvillier, and everybody's got their hands up. Yep, I played a part in that. Good teamwork there, and a couple of quick goals for the Islanders gets them into the lead.
Whistle here off the face-off. 2 goals in a minute and 53 seconds for the Islanders. Noah Dobson, his second of the preseason, coming from Beauvillier and Bellows. And the Islanders have a 2-1 lead.
Look at Anthony. He's got his head up all the way, and then he just pulls it over to his forehand, and looked like Blackwood went down a little early, didn't you think, Brendan? I mean, and that's, you know, for the Devils to be successful this year, the goalie's got to make that save. You got to make a save maybe that's a tough one for you, but you got to come up with those, and if you don't, then you really don't give yourself a chance to win a hockey game. And we've seen what good goaltending does in this league, how important it is. Average goaltending doesn't get it done.
New running mate for Mackenzie Blackwood this season. Vitek Vanacek acquired in a trade from the Washington Capitals. Certainly a capable NHL goaltender. So as Mackenzie Blackwood tries to certainly get himself healthy and ready to go like he was not last year, there is another plan, and certainly somebody who can carry a workload in Vanacek.
Vanacek has been a good goaltender for the Washington Capitals. Didn't have a good year last year. Seemed to be very inconsistent in comments that I heard about him, but certainly very, very capable goaltender. We've seen him play some super hockey against the Isles. Yeah. Islanders are in their stall mode here.
30 seconds to go in the period. No icing. That goal by Dobson was the 10th goal the Islanders have scored this preseason, the 3rd by an Islander defenseman. Speaking of how the Islanders are trying to generate a little bit more offense from the defense.
Well, that's a good sign for the Islanders. Again, that's an area where they haven't been great, an area where they can improve.
Here's Salo. Just tossed it out to the neutral zone, and that'll do it for the first period of play. Islanders will take a 2-1 lead with them to the intermission. Shots on goal. Islanders had 11. The New Jersey Devils had 9. As the Islanders get goals from Barzal and Dobson. A couple of guys with new contracts. A couple of guys on the board for the Islanders in support of Semyon Varlamov. Getting set to start the second here at UBS Arena. Here's Matt Barzal on New Islander defenseman Alex Romanov.
Romy is a beast. Like, he really is, and he loves it. That's the thing I love about him, is he loves to go out and practice. He loves to battle, and that's the kind of guys you want. You want guys that compete hard and practice hard and work out and just seem to love the game. Like, he seems to love being around the rink. So that's a cool thing to have, especially when you're a young guy. You want to have that right away, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do in a real game situation.
Well, you listen to Barzal, he sounds to me like he's a player's player. This is one of the areas, a small sample of what he does. He's a physical player, competes hard, wins the battles on one-on-one. All good things and all typical for the New York Islanders. Tries to block shots there too, so he'll sacrifice the body, and good communication with his new teammates. Everybody likes this guy, and that's important, Brendan, because you get a bad apple in the group and it just sours everybody. But this is a guy that everybody really likes the way he plays, his attitude, and just the way he goes about his business. So this is going to be, I believe, a very, very strong move by Lou Lamoriello to acquire a defenseman who plays like an Islander and can certainly make a very, very good partner for Noah Dobson.
I think that's key. If he can develop chemistry with Noah Dobson, that could be quite the pair for quite a number of years for the New York Islanders. At least that's what they hope. Second period underway here at UBS Arena. Islanders with a 2-1 lead. Islanders got goals from Barzal and Dobson late in the period after a Ryan Graves tally started the scoring early on in the first. Islanders have Romanov and Dobson on the ice right now with Nelson between Beauvillier and Bellows. And this puck kept in at the line by Graves. And he'll just backhand this one off to the corner and let Miles Wood go to work. Wood slips a pass out for Severson. That one redirects on for Graham Clark. Spent last year in the American Hockey League in his second pro season, did Graham Clark, 92-1. Comes in and disrupts the play. Bellows put it below the goal line. Islanders have spent this first minute of the period in their own end.
And it's been a battle. I've been watching Romanov, just the way he plays, and I'll tell you one thing, he is not shy for contact. He would make my life miserable playing against a guy like that.
Here's Zetterlund firing one that's fought off by Varlamov.
Yeah, good wrist shot there by Zetterlund.
Here he is again with a shot that goes wide. Devils really like Zetterlund, Fabian Zetterlund, the 23-year-old from Sweden. He's got a real shot to make this team.
Yeah, he really does. He's a former third-round pick.
This one poked off the stick of Palmieri, came to Pelech. Palmieri again. Here's Pollock, drags and shoots, and that one was blocked by Holtz.
Did you know Ryan had a wrist shot, Brendan?
Doesn't bust it out too often.
Well, this is a pair that, for me, did not have the type of year they had had the year before. Struggled a little bit. Of course, Ryan was hurt for a good part of the early part of the season, and Adam missed him, and they just never got their rhythm for me. And perhaps it was because they didn't play together for a long time, and they just couldn't find it along with the rest of the team. But I'm looking for them to return to form, to be that 1-2 punch that was so very good.
Palmieri powering through, got decked into the goaltender. Palmieri slow to get up. Blackwood is still on his backside.
Did he play with Blackwood? You probably be saying
it. Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Lackey, it wasn't me.
Your other guy.
Yeah.
Shoved me into you. That pass was behind Hallonen. Ryan Pollock missed 2.5 months of the season last year. Blocked the shot in mid-November. And that was one of those where originally it was 6 weeks, and then after 6 weeks it was 7, and then 8, and then wound up missing 10 weeks of the season before he was able to come back. And just wasn't quite the same for Ryan Pollock and Adam Pelech in their defense pair.
Yeah, when you talk about COVID and injuries and the dreaded November, I mean, it just ate up the Islanders' opportunity to make the playoffs with such a tough time. Oh, there's
Aatu Ratu is
limping off it a little bit. He got tied up with one of the Devils and looked like he just fell awkwardly. The trainers are checking him out.
Favoring that right leg as he's on the bench right now with Damian Hess. Actually, that's Jody Green over there who's taking Ratu back to the tunnel.
Yeah, he looks like he needs some help, so that's a little more than a minor injury at this stage. Let's hope that he, like we see so many times, Brendan, it hurts for a minute and then they're back.
Well, he's really struggling to get down that tunnel. Aatu Ratu, just 19 years old. He's had a good camp. It's his first season, supposed to be his first full season in North America. And Here's the play.
Much in the middle of your screen. Oh, just gets him in the
puck.
Yeah, it was the puck. You know what? If you get hit what I call the funny bone, Brendan, you can hardly stand on it, and that maybe that's exactly that's the area of the funny bone. There's no padding there, and your leg just goes numb.
Well, that's
so he
I'm sure
could
it
be
hurts,
all right.
but yeah.
Oh yeah, it does hurt.
But what I was concerned with, not having seen that puck hit him where he did, is that those non-contact injuries, right? Those are the things that make you wince and worry that it could be something long-term.
Yeah.
Let's hope he's okay.
Because you can't prepare yourself. You know, those are the unexpected. When you look to get hit, you kind of prepare yourself, you brace yourself. But certainly we hope that it's nothing serious. Didn't look to be anything major, but
there's
a bit of a high stick to Nemec. That's right, huh? Nemec? I got that one right, Brendan.
You did, Nemec.
I'm 1 for 1.
Simon Nemec, number 2 overall pick last year, just 18 years old. Shot block.
Yeah, they would expect a lot of things from him as time goes on. And Dennis Potvin used to say it's going to take him 200 games before he really finds himself.
That shot blocked, picked up by Barzal. Wraparound try. It's in. It looks like it's in anyway. They're still scrambling for it, and they'll see where that puck wound up. It looked like Barzal had tucked it inside that corner post.
Looked like the goaltender Blackwood didn't quite get there in time, but they'll look overhead. And is the National Hockey League monitoring these games, Brendan?
Oh, yeah. They watch everything. They're listening to everything you say, Butch.
Yeah, well, my friend Mike Murphy, he's hard at work again for his 50th year, it seems. Well, his skate is definitely behind the line, but I don't know if you can tell where that puck is, Brendan.
If it stayed out, it wasn't because of Blackwood. It was because of Ohota.
Oh, there it is, right on the corner. Yep.
Oh, and then it squirted across the goal line, and
there
it was
it is,
still loose.
Still in front of him, so yeah. Ohota, he's got his legs in the way.
Barzal denied what would have been his second of the night. This is cleared down and out of the reach of everyone. It'll turn into an icing, and an offensive zone face-off coming up once again for the Islanders.
Now, Kiefer Bellows getting an opportunity, and we've watched him over the last couple of years, Brendan, and streaky. Right? He'll have games where he looks very, very effective, and then he'll have games where he kind of disappears. And this is a big opportunity for him. I mean, at some point in time, you get an opportunity, you've got to seize that moment. You've got to make something happen, and these exhibition games are very important for his career, because he doesn't want to spend time on the bench again or in the stands or in the minor leagues. I mean, he's sort of done his tour of duty.
Ryan Pollock passed off for Anthony Beauvillier. Kiefer Bellows signed a new 1-year contract in August. Former first-round pick in 2016. Kiefer Bellows played 45 games last year. Struggled with the consistency as this one rolls all the way down and just goes wide for an icing. But last year it seemed like Kiefer Bellows and Oliver Wahlstrom were sharing a roster spot.
Yes, I would agree, and they both had moments where they played well, and but you've got to be consistent. And in fairness to both those guys, I mean, the team had such a tough year that you're trying to find your way into the lineup as a regular, and you need the veterans to be able to pull you along. And when they're struggling, they don't have time for you. I mean, they're trying to find their game, and as Anders Lee said, I mean, we just all had a tough time last year. We never were able to get it going. So for the guys that were looking for a little help, they didn't get a whole lot. Now that doesn't mean that they didn't need to contribute in their own little way. But it certainly makes it a lot easier when the vets are pulling you along and they're making great plays and they're giving you a lot more opportunities to be who you are.
Well, it's been a tough couple of years, tough few years for young prospects, not just with the Islanders, but all around hockey. It's been tough for everybody, right? With the pandemic, with the season that ended shortly, with the season that began at 56-game schedule and taxi squads. And you look at Kiefer Bellows just a couple of years ago, he played 14 games total in 2021.
Yep.
Because he was on the taxi squad the whole year. He didn't play down in the American Hockey League. He just kind of hung around with the team, played sporadically. And that's a tough go for anyone.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to establish a career. You need ice time. You're certainly not going to improve your game when you're on a taxi squad. And like you said, Brendan, all the way around the league, the young players went through a tough time.
Well, as we hoped, Oct.06 back on the ice for the New York Islanders here for his next shift.
Skating as well as ever. So might have been able to peg the injury correctly.
Ratu made the stick check on Talviti, but was unable to secure the puck. And now it's Nathan Bastian taken away from him along the boards by Soshnikov. Geertsen able to keep it. And now is pulled back out through center. Mikita Ohota played his first 5 NHL games late in the season. This one is shot out of play, and we will get a face-off when we come back. Still a 2-1 Islanders lead as Oct.06 back on the Isles bench.
Show the world what it means to be a fan at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
What does the future of strength look like? It's a personal trainer that assesses your strength and adds weight as you progress. It's dynamic weight that adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout.
Come on!
And it's a roster of coaches that motivates you to get stronger, faster. The future is strength you can feel and results you can see. And you can only experience it on Tonal.
Not sure where to start with ED treatment? HIMS makes it simple, with a 100% online process and no in-person visit needed. First, complete a simple virtual consultation. Then, we match you with a licensed provider who can determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your order ships discreetly to your door, for free, with medications like Viagra, Cialis, and FDA-approved generics, plus a money-back guarantee. The search for ED treatment stops here. Get started today at 4hims.com.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the NHL and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Islanders with 2 goals tonight. The New Jersey Devils with just 1. That man, Brock Nelson, had 37 goals last year. A renaissance season for Brock Nelson.
Yeah, and Islanders are certainly looking for him to repeat that performance and maybe even hit 40 goals. A lot of those goals, Brendan, he did like in about 50-some games. Yeah. It's not like he did it in a regular schedule. I mean, he was on fire, and he's got that great wrist shot, and he found some great chemistry, particularly with Anders Lee and Bo. So yes, Islanders would do well if Mr. Brock Nelson or Mr. Brocktober could duplicate that particular season.
21 goals as Thompson shot comes through. Geertsen and Ross Johnston throwing some gloved punches, and now some gloves have been tossed aside. We'll see if the linesmen let him get going, but Geertsen and Johnston, they fought before.
And Geertsen, hey, that's part of his makeup.
Well, when Ross Johnston is out there, a lot of times you hear the glass rattle, and that's what happened about 5 seconds before Geertsen and Johnston got together.
Yeah, well, that's his game. I mean, he can't float out there and not do what he does naturally. I mean, yes, we've seen him play some really good hockey, make some good, smart plays, but this is a big part of his game, and that's a good, solid check, even though he lost his balance.
New Jersey, 55, New York 32, each minors.
And then a little cross-checking and throwing some punches at one another, but Ohotuk was the one that received the good, solid check from Mr. Ross Johnston. Well, maybe they'll want to dance a little later, Brendan. There's still some time.
Mason Geertsen, one of the few guys that can look Ross Johnston in the eyes.
Yeah, it's just amazing how big the tough guys are now. I mean, you know, way back when it was 6'1", 6 feet, 6'2", and now it's what, 6'5", 6'6", or if you're Chara, you're 6'9".
Speaking of Chara, Geertsen fought Chara last year.
And I'm betting on Chara.
One of 5 fights Mason Geertsen had, who last year switched from the Rangers to the Devils. Claimed off waivers during training camp. Now this year's still hanging around these Devils. He played In 25 games last year, his first NHL action. But Char fought him in December after Geertsen threw a hit on Thompson, and Char came right over and said hello.
Yep. Let me introduce you to my fist.
This one deflected wide, picked up by Alexander Holtz, who turns and shoots off the glass. 7 minutes gone by here in the second period. Here's Holtz to the inside and forced Pelech to pull him down.
And a bad angle by Adam. Came at him and came in from the outside on him, and a good move by Holtz to go to the inside. And that's just not a good read by Adams. He tries to close the grab. Watch his position and say they're on the outside of him, and you know you want to come the other way. You wanted to get to his right and just force him down the boards. But that's what preseason games are all about, to get your timing, get your rhythm. And he looks at the replay and he's like, oh, I didn't go all that well there, did I?
Here's Romanov off the faceoff, and he'll skate with it. Nelson's along with him, shorthanded. Romanov to Nelson. Nelson in, and a stop by Blackwood.
Nelson loves to go 5-hole, doesn't he? I mean, we've seen that a number of times. What a pass by Romanov. I mean, just a little saucer pass right into the area to let Brock skate in on him.
This is during 4-on-3 as well, as Geertsen and Johnston were given minor penalties that were actually being served on the board. So it's 4-on-3 here for another 43 seconds.
Yeah, and that's one thing you have to really be careful of, Brendan, when you are 4-on-4. Don't take a penalty.
Boquist to Severson, one-timer off of Varlamov. It was back out in front of the goal line, and Wood got tied up by Romanov. Nelson a failed clear, but he cleared it. Well, it didn't go where he wanted it to, but it was effective nonetheless.
Yeah, Romanov lifted his stick up to prevent a potential goal.
Zetterlund to the front, and there's Romanov, and he will start to skate. He is a smooth skater, and he will toss this one deep and go for a change himself. Ledoux and Salo out with Parisi here. 5 seconds left before Johnston and Geertsen are released. Here's Simon Nemitz. Nemitz passed through the skates of Clark. Geertsen went to the bench for a change. Johnston stays on the ice as the Islanders killing a penalty. 5-on-4 conventionally now. 35 seconds left on that. Here's Zetterlund. Waits, delays, nice pass. Clark shot, pinballs around, still loose. Varlamov can't get there as Clark puts it home. Will go down as a power play goal for Graham Clark, and the score even at 2.
Good puck movement there by the Devils, and they were able to find a little hole in the slot area, and I believe that was Clark that got the original shot and a couple of rebounds. The Devils moving around quickly right in the slot areas where they're going to get their opportunity. Number 92, he gets the opportunity, skates in, looks for the rebound, and that's Clark. So, you know what? Chase your rebound. You never know what's going to happen. And a jam in by the net, and Varlamov just too many saves to have to make, right?
You know what? The funny thing is, he got there, and I think he thought that Clark was going to elevate it, and he lifted his leg off the ice for a split second, and the puck went right underneath him.
That's not fair. He fanned on it, what you're saying, right?
It's right. Here's Thompson with a shot that's gloved and held by Blackwood.
Well, that was good puck movement by the Devils as they went down, back up high, and then back into the slot area. And even though it was blocked, well, it was good. Couldn't quite clear it, and the Devils stayed with it. I was going to talk about Lindy Ruff. You know, you talked about Geertsen and his toughness. Well, you know, that's the way Lindy Ruff played, and he knows the importance of having toughness on the ice at certain times. So it's not unexpected that you would see some of that aggressiveness in the lineup for the Devils.
Rolling puck comes in, and it's covered up by Varlamov. And for the New Jersey Devils, we talked about the Islanders changing their coaching staff. The Devils still have Lindy Ruff, but they replaced almost all of their assistant coaches as well. And this man, Andrew Brunette, who was a finalist for the Jack Adams Award, won a President's Trophy as the interim head coach of the Florida Panthers, now in charge of this Devils power play.
Yeah, he did a tremendous job in taking over for the Florida Panthers, and unfortunately he had a bad playoff, or his team had a bad playoff, and you know, when you get swept and you finish #1 overall, then you know, the question becomes, can you know, do you have the presence of mind, do you have the experience to be able to handle a potential championship team? And it was an unfortunate break for him, but he landed on his feet, and you know, now he's in New Jersey, and So Lindy Ruff has a very, very capable assistant coach there.
Let me get this straight. There were 10 NHL head coaching jobs open. The guy wins a President's Trophy and a Jack Adams nomination, and he couldn't get one of them?
Well, you know, not to be, I don't know what the right word would be, but I mean, getting swept, Brendan, really hurt him. You know, and he did a tremendous job to take over when he did, and a lot of things went well for that hockey team. But that's as you know, the playoffs is the bottom line, and they had a bad playoff. And I didn't see the game, so I can't criticize whether you know, what happened and who's to blame. But again, as I said earlier on, Brendan, when something doesn't go right, you know who's getting blamed.
There's Bellows tapped it behind the net. Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston, Vegas, Dallas, Winnipeg, Florida, Detroit, San Jose, and the Islanders all switching head coaches at some point during this offseason.
Why didn't that happen when I was coaching? There would have been 8 other opportunities for me. But that's a big turnover, but that tells you how precarious that job is. And you know, everybody wants success, and they want it not today. They wanted it yesterday, and so there's no hesitation to move the coaches off.
You know how many teams have had their head coach for more than 4 seasons, Butch?
I would say 3 at the most.
Yeah, 3. Can you name them? Longest tenured head coach has a couple of recent Stanley Cups.
Well, I know the guy in Toronto's been around for a while. Cooper definitely has.
There you go.
Cooper's definitely had his job. Well, it's tough to fire a guy that's won a couple cups in a row, wouldn't it be? I mean, but well, we saw a guy get fired that had won a cup in the last 4 or 5 years. But it's just that's the way it is. That was interference. And Barzal just got run over
by Zetterlund.
Zetterlund.
Longest tenured head coach is Mike Sullivan.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, is John Cooper, who's been there for now 10+ seasons. As Barzal comes in and shoots one off a leg. Next up is Mike Sullivan. Who's also won 2 Stanley Cups since he got his job.
He's done an amazing job. He has had to deal with injuries, and for whatever reason, his team's able to get into the playoffs. Done a marvelous job.
And the most recent Stanley Cup winner, Jared Bednar, the 3rd longest tenured head coach.
Your buddy.
In the NHL. Ross Johnson scared a couple of kids behind the net. 2-2.
Broken air conditioner? That could be a $4,400 bill you weren't expecting. Fridge on the fritz? That could cost you $2,500. Get the First American Home Warranty Plan. And when a covered item breaks, call or click. That's it. And we'll repair or replace it for you. We have plans that cover air conditioning, most appliances, plus heating, plumbing, electrical systems, and much more. Plans start as low as $25 a month. Why let a major system or appliance breakdown bust your budget or go through the hassle of trying to find trustworthy service people?
Saved us thousands of dollars.
And I know they have my back.
Last year alone, we saved our customers over $140 million. Don't wait until it's too late and you're stuck with a huge repair bill.
If you don't have First American Warranty, get it.
Call 1-800-574-3914 or visit protectmybudget.com for a free no-obligation quote. That's 1-800-574-3914.
Nobody covers the game like us. This is NHL Network.
Devils preseason action here at Belmont Park. 2-2 here in the second. The New York Islanders opening night against the Florida Panthers coming up 1 week from tonight. That's October 13th on your calendar. All fans in attendance will receive a limited edition 50th anniversary scarf presented by UBS. Be there to kick off the special season by visiting NewYorkIslanders.com/tickets.
That's a fairly good challenge right off the bat for the Islanders. We're just talking about the Florida Panthers and their new coach, Paul Maurice, and #1 team overall in points last year.
And certainly a different makeup to them as well. I mean, some big moves during the offseason. No more Jonathan Huberdeau.
Right.
Geertsen tries to center it here.
That was maybe maybe the biggest trade all the change in the entire season, with the truck going from Calgary to Florida. And they're going to miss Huberdeau. Yep. He was a great player for him. He'd really matured and a lot of leadership, and you wonder how Barkov felt about that deal.
Islanders are going to see him on opening night against the Florida Panthers. And they get the Anaheim Ducks in town, so a couple of opponents they don't see too often.
Yeah, a lot of the other conference the Islanders see early on in their first 10-12 games.
Kiefer Bellows shoots this one across the ice in the direction of Simon Holmstrom. The most recent Islanders first-round pick, 2019. Took Holmstrom with him. Used their first-round picks for other purposes over the last few years. Here's Clark from the goal line, trying to sneak it short side on Varlamov. That got him up around the collarbone and popped the strap off his mask as well. Not sure he's realized that yet.
A lot of players go short side high.
That one comes in, and he's able to smother the puck and get the whistle. And he'll be able to reset that mask as well.
I got to ask the goaltending coaches about that particular move. When the guys are at the bad angle, the goaltenders go down. They leave a little 2-3 inches right in the very top corner, and you know, that's not old-time goaltending. And you can see where Varlamov is trying to protect that area. But when you're down, unless you're 6'9", you're going to leave a spot up there. And we've seen goals go in on the Islander goaltenders and other goaltenders. That's just a vulnerable spot. And if the guys can pick that cherry, they score.
Well, a give and go doesn't work for Damon Severson. It's a tough spot because you can't stand up, because then they'll rifle along the ice and pick you the other corner. So
that'll be interesting. I'm going to get to Pierre Greco or Mitch Korn, see what they. Hopefully, I can get to them and ask them about that. Or they're probably listening to me. So guys, I want an answer for that. And
put the pencil down. They're counting shots, making sure that the official scorer's got them all.
Yeah. And Jeff Weintraub under the gun again.
There's Ilya Sorokin backing up here tonight. Islanders have not kept any extra goalies around. Jakob Skarek and Corey Schneider have both been sent down to the American League. As Ryan Pulock steps and shoots, he changed the angle. Blackwood was still looking for that puck, but it was blocked on the way. Pulock again. The wrist shot tipped by Parisi, and Blackwood made the save.
Blackwood was completely out of position on an original fake.
Pulock lets it go, blocked. Talviti stepped in the way of the Pulock shot. This is one-handed deep by Brian Hallinan.
Must have good equipment, because I wouldn't have stepped in front of that, Brendan. I didn't have that kind of equipment. That would have hurt if I had to block that.
You're not trying to make the team.
No, I already had made the team. That's why I wasn't
you don't block it. Yeah.
No, that's not my job. That's the goalie.
Here's Ledoux, drags and shoots, and that one hit off Parisi, who was cutting across the top of the crease. Now Soshnikov back with an effort for Barzal. Barzal turns and looks, leaves it to the top. Salo across, Ledoux. Soshnikov circles out, takes a shot that hit off a stick. Barzal will grab it along the boards, but had rolled on him. And Holtz is able to leave the zone. Zetterlund tracked down by Ross Johnston. Soshnikov came over and picked it. Barzal right back in. Soshnikov curls out high with 5.5 to go in the period. Soshnikov tried to leave it for Barzal, couldn't, then got it to him another way. Ledoux to Salo. The Islanders keep the pressure on. Salo a shot through a screen. Johnston on the rebound, tapped it just wide with the backhand.
That long reach came in real handy, but couldn't quite get it past the goaltender.
There's a goal as a shot from Ledoux at the line. May have gone off Ratu along the way. May have hit Ross Johnston anyway. It's an Islanders lead.
Great pressure by the Islanders, Brendan. I mean, that was shift. Spent for about a minute and a half in the offensive zone. They had a line change, and they just kept the pressure up. And what was very impressive, but they kept shooting the puck. Salo gets that shot towards the net. It's blocked. Ross Johnston in front, almost gets it in the net, but good puck retrieval. Look at Ross gets in on the play, right back to the front of the net. There's a good fight going on. That might have went off Ross Johnston, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like there. But good pressure by the Islanders. Good net front presence. So I like their attitude right now. If that's a Lane Lambert staple, I like it.
So Ross Johnston, that's a Ross Johnston goal for you. Get into a good spot, have it go in off you. This is Holmstrom along the boards, trying to feed it to Salo. It was just over a minute shift for all of those Devils who just got pinned in their zone. Good work in the neutral zone. They got out for a moment, and then it was Soshnikov and Ross Johnston And Matt Barzal, they were able to get it right back in.
Well, it was aggressive. When we've talked about them wanting to be more aggressive in the neutral zone, have the defense stay up longer and put more pressure, and that created the turnover, Brendan. That's what they're looking for.
Matt Martin rattled the glass a few times. This one tossed out of play. Did it touch the glass along the way? The referee in the neutral zone says it's a penalty. The linesman and the other referee are going to conference about it. One referee already called the penalty. The other one has now agreed. So the Islanders will be short-handed when we come back. Ross Johnston, though, has given them a 3-2 lead. 4.5 to play here in the second.
New York, minor penalty, 30.
Every season is a new story.
Who will make an immediate impact?
Now the pressure's on.
All eyes will be on Johnny Gaudreau.
Just imagine how motivated Huberdeau will be. Adding Tkachuk makes Florida a very scary team.
Can Giroux propel Ottawa into contention?
Kadri was made for the Battle of Alberta.
Buckle up, it's about to get interesting.
Score! Crosby, it's Ovechkin! McKinnon!
The long, hard road starts here.
You ready?
Does shopping for bladder control products have you feeling like you need someone to be on the lookout for you? Now you have your privacy back. We're HDIS, and we home deliver bladder control products directly to you. We're always on the lookout for you. You get free shipping in plain, unmarked boxes. So your private matters stay private. We understand how you feel. For over 35 years, we've delivered bladder control products to millions of Americans, just like you. You don't have to worry about incontinence any longer. Call now for your free product sample pack and over $45 in money-saving coupons. At HDIS, we're always in stock. We carry all brands in hundreds of styles and sizes. You'll be sure to get what you need, guaranteed.
For your free sample pack with your free catalog and $45 in money-saving coupons and free product samples, call 800-469-0250. That's 800-469-0250.
Nobody covers the game like us. This is NHL Network.
Otto Koivula will take a seat in the Islander penalty box. Delay of game, the call, and a Devils power play here late in the period.
Yeah, you're trying to play it off the glass, and it's a rolling puck, and well, you had a sandwich out instead of a 6-iron. It would have been a much better play. And he's going to sit in the sin bin. He hopes for 2 minutes. I don't know why they call it the sin bin, Brendan. Well, maybe because you committed a sin.
Yeah,
I guess.
You wouldn't know anything about that?
No.
How'd you hit him this summer?
Better and better every day.
All right. Progress, that's all you need.
Yeah.
So Koivula in the box, power play for New Jersey. As Varlamov waits behind him. Pelech was looking for a way out, couldn't find one. Now it's Ledoux off the boards and all the way down.
Good smart play by Adam Pelech. Just a little chip pass over to his partner Ledoux, and he made absolutely no mistake about it. Fired it hard.
Third power play of the game for the Devils. They did score on their last power play. Clark had the power play goal at 8:50 of this period on what was an abbreviated power play. Or at least it was 5-on-4 briefly. It was 4-on-3 for Appleton as well.
For a while, but good job by the Islanders standing up the Devils' offensive thrust. You know, you're talking about golf. Your partner last night is an avid golfer, and everybody gets on my case because I like to play a lot. He puts me to shame as far as the number of games that guy plays.
Darren Pang likes to golf.
Oh, yes, he does.
And every time we're around a locker room or down in the tunnel talking to coaches, managers, trainers, they've all played with him at some point. It's amazing. Kenzie Blackwood out of his net and hands off to Simon Nemetz. 50 seconds left on the Koivula minor for delay of game. Here's Clark. Clark carries into the zone. Devils get set up on the power play. Good look across for Nemetz. Nemetz wanted the backdoor tap in. Never got through. It's cleared by Paul Murray. Devils power play was 26th in the NHL last season. Just under 18% successful.
Holmes and Parise killing penalties. I don't know that Paul Murray kills a lot of them, but I know that, oh, there's a good reason why he's out there. Good poke check, stopped and turned, and we've seen Zach kill a lot of penalties. Good defensive specialist.
Final seconds of the kill. Matt Barzal is out there with Matt Martin. And Otto Koivula will be released in 2 and then 1 as Clark trying to go to the net. Adam Pelech wouldn't let it through out of the box. Koivula. And this is sent ahead by Barzal his direction. Koivula didn't have a lot of speed trying to time that one onside. Waited for some help. Barzal to Pelech. Pelech looking for a tip from Matt Martin and couldn't find the blade. Clark's attempt to clear off McLeod, and Adam Pelech settles it down.
Matty Martin was upset the other night. Josh Bailey claims stole the goal from him. Puck was sitting right on the crease. Looked like it might be rolling in, and Josh Bailey happened to be in the right place at the right time. And
got to finish, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't assume it's going to go all the way over, and Josh tapped it right in, but Matty was upset with Josh. Of course, I'm kidding.
Here's Barzal picking up speed, crossing the line with Bellows. Barzal to the backhand and runs out of real estate. Hotak played it well.
Like to have seen Matt shoot that puck. He's on his forehand. He's inside the top of the circles, Brendan, trying to get in there, and not a lot of room.
Barzal spins away from Smith, but has to retreat, and it's Salo to Thompson. Islanders back into the zone, just more than a minute to play in the period.
So far, the 6 defensemen have played very well for the Islanders. Ledoux and Salo have acquitted themselves quite well. Nothing glaring out there, which that's important for these guys.
Ledoux gets an assist on the Johnston goal. He's the one that took the shot that deflected in off of Ross Johnston. There are a couple of guys fighting for that spot as well that are not in the lineup. Sebastian Aho, Grant Hutton still very much in the mix for this Islander roster. Let's see what the Islanders do with their lineup on Saturday against the Rangers in their preseason finale. A lot of times puts that last preseason game's a dress rehearsal, and everybody's in.
Yeah, I hope so, because it's usually a little bit better game when everybody's got all their guys in, all the healthy guys, I will say. And there's a lot of Islanders not playing tonight. I made a little list. Pajot, Wallstrom, Cizikas, Lee, Bailey, and Clutterbuck. So that's a fair number of people not in the lineup. We don't know if they'll, and of course Scott Mayfield, the defenseman, but you would expect all of the guys to play if they're healthy.
There are some question marks on that list in terms of health. That is still to be determined. So the Islanders get a goal late in the period from Ross Johnston to give them a 3-2 lead headed to the third period tonight against the New Jersey Devils. Coming up, it's the second intermission report. It's brought to you by your local Ford stores. Visit by.
In order for him to do that, he has to have some guidance. And there's no question that over the last 4 years, Matt has improved as a player dramatically. His overall 200-foot game has been outstanding, and he'll continue to grow, and that's what we're looking to do, is just continue to have him grow.
Well, the thing I like about Matt is that his skill level, Brendan, the way he can play the game, I think there's only 2 players in the entire National Hockey League to compete with him, and that's Connor McDavid, and that's McKinnon. And because they do things that no one else does. And yes, there's a lot of great players in this league, but Matt Barzal can bring something special, and I really hope that he can get to that next level. And I said earlier in the broadcast, he's a 100-point man for me, and that's really, when I see that happening, then I know this team is really on the ball, so to speak.
Matt Barzal won a Calder Trophy in 2017-18, had 85 points. He hasn't gotten back to that 85-point mark under Barry Trotz. He did that under Doug Wade, the 85 points as a rookie. 62, 68, then 45 in a shortened season, and 59 points last year in 73 games for Matt Barzal.
Well, I think that Barry wanted him to become that complete player, and that he could use him in the last minute of a hockey game, and he could be a responsible person. And I think Matt forgot about his offensive capabilities.
There's Beauvillier, stripped from behind by Graham Clark after a nice setup by Brock Nelson.
And you can play both ends of the rink. I mean, you think of Bergeron in Boston, plays both ends of it. Barkov for Florida, and they get plenty of points. So it's not like you've taken away the offense from a player when you ask him to be responsible. But you just got to remember that you got to bring the offense in, and you've got to be able to play that way. And he hasn't quite found that way, and everybody's hoping that's his next level.
We're going to get matching minors here. Adam Pelech for tripping, and
44 New Jersey,
Miles Wood for making sure the referee saw the trip.
New York, 2 minutes, tripping.
How do you fake a trip?
Well, he tripped him, but not this badly, I guess.
I don't know. I said I was going to be good to the refs. I'm okay. That's a good break for the Islanders as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
How about that?
So instead of a penalty against Adam Pelech, it's 4-on-4 here in the opening minutes of the period. You know, another thing, too, about the evolution of Matt Barzal's game. He's won 7 of his 10 faceoffs tonight. That's something that last year he was below 50%, well below, just over 46%.
Yeah,
and if you're going to be a number 1 center, you got to win faceoffs.
Yeah, you do, because again, you want to be in those tough situations, Brendan. You want to play in the last minute. You want the coach to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, get out there and win that faceoff, and then you can make something happen. So being that complete player, there's a lot of parts to that package, and Barzal is, as you mentioned, is getting better and better with his faceoff. And let me tell you something. He wants to be the best player. There is no two ways about it. He's not looking to run, like that movie. I'm not looking to run second, and that's Barzal. I want to be the lead dog here. He's got an opportunity to be the number 1 center here with the Islanders and get his game to that level where you said 85 points. It's not far to get to 100 after that, especially if you've got a power play.
And he signed an 8-year contract extension this week. But year 1 of that contract is next year. He's still playing under the 3-year deal he signed a couple of years back. And so he has 8 years from next year and the 30-31 season.
Oh, it is. What is he living in a tent now then, Brendan?
I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
Here's Salo.
Well, look at that number 9 guy, or 29 guy. He had a pretty good year, didn't he?
Salo gets loose. Salo trying to go back to the forehand, and then I stop by Mackenzie Blackwood, and he can't recover as Beauvillier puts it home.
Well, what a play by Brock Nelson. What a play by Brock Nelson. Dobson got the puck at the blue line. He gave it to Brock Nelson. Brock Nelson took a look at the net, saw there were some people in front of him, and then slid it over to Anthony Beauvillier, knowing full well that he had an empty net. Well, I mean, watch 29, the play he makes. Dobson's going to get the puck all the way across. They go back around the horn. Nelson's in position. Watch this play here. This is Salo, driving towards the net, and then the play continues on, and there's that Nelson pass to Beauvillier. That was ingenious. Beautiful play. Good play by Salo, driving towards the net. Didn't quite have the finish, but this play here, yes, no chance for Blackwood. Great play there by Brock Nelson, and there's another penalty.
It's trip and call. The Islanders will be shorthanded as Holtz was tossed down to the ice. It's a trip against Atu Ratu.
And a 4-on-3.
For the second time in this game, a 4-on-3 situation.
A tough position there. Got to work on his angles, and he's a young kid, and he'll learn to position himself in a better way. Says I didn't mean it, honestly. You skidded on my stick.
Youngest player in the game here tonight, 19 years of age.
That's the age I started at, Brendan, and first 2 games I've said to myself, I don't think I can play in this league. I mean, they're really fast.
Here's Romanov skating.
But you adapt.
Yeah.
The game doesn't get slower. It's just that you start to figure it all out.
I should correct myself. Not the youngest player in the game, but the youngest player on the Islanders roster tonight. Can't forget about Simon Nemetz.
Nemetz is only 18, yes, and playing defense. So that's even a tougher position to play when you're young.
Here's Boquist cutting in with a shot. Saved rebound. Turned aside by Varlamov on the backhand try from Bastian, battling in close to the net. And Ryan Pulock taking his time as 4-on-3 becomes 5-on-4. And the power play continues for the Devils.
Yeah, he had to stab it about 6 times before he got it under control.
Here's Ledoux cruising in, testing Blackwood off the blocker, left the rebound, and Parise in a good spot, trying to eat some clock. Boy, Zach Parise, who is beginning his 18th season in the NHL at 38 years old now, and still has that motor and the legs to match it.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, he had a great year last year. He had a slow start.
Look at him here. Taking this puck away with Nelson driving the pass. Goes through him, though.
And it was an adjustment for him to get comfortable, obviously. He spent a long time in New Jersey and in Minnesota. But the second half, boy, he was, in my opinion, the best Islander player. I mean, Brock Nelson scored a lot of goals. Can't take that away from him.
Devils snapping this puck around on the tail end of the power play as Clark handles it. Parise, the only Islander, again mentioned he was 37 years old last year, the only Islander to play in all 82 games.
Yeah, and he played the same way shift after shift. I mean, he was a tireless worker and earned himself another year.
1 goal in his first 33 games, finished with 15 on the year.
Yeah. Well, him and Palmieri both struggled in the first half, and then they caught fire.
Out of the box comes Ratu. This one kicked to the net, and Varlamov was there to hold his ground. Took a little bump from Dobson, too. And then Soshnikov trying to escape. Ratu has it. Dobson joining the play to make this a 3-on-2. Ratu over. Holmstrom dusts it off and fires wide.
Good play by Ratu, boy. Great presence of mind out there. Took a little look to his right.
There was absolutely no hesitation from Dobson about joining that rush.
No, and that's what the Islander coaching staff wants. They want their guys up, creating these odd man rushes. Didn't create a whole lot last year with odd man rushes, and didn't have a lot of success on the offense.
Matt Martin with the hit that slowed up Brian Hallinan. And this pass off the mark for Brendan Smith, and comes back out to center ice for Arnie Talviti.
When you look at the Islanders, Brendan, with 4 goals now, I mean, if that can be their average, that changes their season dramatically.
Dumped in from beyond center, so it's an icing call against New Jersey. Well, Lane Lambert is going to implement a new system. No doubt it will take some time adjusting, but this is not the same thing as Barry Trotz from a different person. Yes, he's been on the staff, but this is Lane Lambert getting a chance to do what Lane Lambert wants to do.
Yeah, he's made a few adjustments. As I said, he still wants them to play good defense, and that was the staple for Barry Trotz. But I think one of the things the coaches do is what is successful with the rest of the league? Like, who's winning Stanley Cups and why are they winning Stanley Cups? What are they doing that's maybe a little different? And I think Lane,
Cale Makar.
Yeah, well, yeah, that helps too. But it's the style. Oh, that was off the post there, Brendan.
And then Palmieri got another whack at it and couldn't finish it off.
But it's the style you play, and you make little adjustments here and there. And I think that's what Lane has tried to do, is make little adjustments for his team. And how can they score more goals? Bottom line, how can they spend less time in their own zone?
Islanders have 4 points from their defense tonight, a goal and 3 assists as part of their 4-2 lead. Good look for Palmieri from Barzal, then Bellows with a swing at it, was blocked by Ohotuk. And now Pollock pinching in down the boards, a little shimmy that got him away from foot. Barzal with a backhand pass that was out of the reach of Palmieri.
Boy, has he been sharp tonight, Barzal. I mean, with his vision tonight has been especially good. I mean, he's made a half a dozen passes that no hesitation at all, hasn't had to look. Puck's on his stick, puck's off his stick, and it's on someone else's stick. It's been impressive for me with Barzal, just the way he's moved the puck and his awareness to where everybody is. I mean, look at that quick little dump pass to Palmieri. He gets a good opportunity, and like I said, I've seen that about a half a dozen times tonight. So he's certainly obviously very ready to go this season.
This is the second icing for this defense pair. Brendan Smith, they allow him to get off the ice. He's down the tunnel, apparently a little shaken up. He had been out there for more than 1 minute and 50 seconds. Ohotuk is closing in on a 3-minute shift. Here's Salo walking right in and shooting. Save made Blackwood. A couple of digs at the rebound for Johnston, and he couldn't jar it past Blackwood. And then Graves and Johnston go nose to nose for a moment before they are separated. 7 minutes gone here in period 3. Islanders now with a 4-2 lead over the New Jersey Devils.
Sunday, the countdown is officially on.
You know opening night is just a couple of days away.
Get primed for the new season with our ultimate preview and prediction shows.
I take the under there.
Western Conference Preview, Sunday, 7 Eastern on NHL Network.
Now you can get your favorite jersey faster than ever at Fanatics.com. Introducing Fanatics MVP with next business day shipping. Official jerseys from all the leagues and teams you love. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
This winter, make sure your tires are ready for adventure. Right now at Midas, buy 3 Cooper tires and get 1 free. Schedule your tire appointment at Midas.com.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
Let the debates begin.
He has potential to be a top end player.
Find out if your favorite made the cut.
He's one of those guys that thinks, I'm going to get 50 every year.
Top 50 players right now. 10 to 1, Sunday 6 Eastern on NHL Network. Nobody covers the game like us. This is NHL Network.
He just missed a glorious opportunity to put a puck into what looked like a wide open net. And as you watch this unfold, you're thinking to yourself, how does this not go in? And that's exactly the question that Matt Barzal was asking on the Islander bench. How did that not go in?
Oh, my goodness. That hit the crossbar, didn't it?
I think it hit a stick along the way.
Stick along the way, yeah. And I'd be saying, if I'm the centerman, hey, when I give you that opportunity, you got to put it in.
Right.
I'm looking at the Art Ross trophy here.
Can't get to 100 points without those.
Yeah, exactly right, Brendan.
Islanders up by 2 here. Third period of play in the penultimate preseason game for the Islanders, who will play the New York Rangers on Saturday night here at UBS Arena. You and I will be here for that, Butch.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Should be always a good game when the Rangers are in town. Oh, Anthony couldn't make up his mind whether he was going to hit him or just try to knock him over. And Salo again running into the net. That's one thing, Brendan, you have to be careful of it. You want to come back and take your man. Billy Smith used to say, don't come in my crease. I'll handle my crease. And we've seen Salo a couple times come right into Varlamov's crease, and that sometimes will interfere with the goaltender's ability to make a save.
Since we're giving the referees love, that was a nice job by the referees, who realized that the net had been knocked off, but the Islanders almost had a breakaway on that pass from Beauvillier, and instead of just blowing it down and resetting the net, they waited for that opportunity to dissipate before they blew the play down.
Absolutely. Here comes Salo, and again, this is what I'm saying. He's back checking, and I like that with McLeod. But your goaltenders have got to sort of be in their own area or their crease. Of course, you and I were talking about Billy Smith when he was in the crease area. You didn't go in the crease area. You put the binders on because you were going to get a stick in the head or in the gut somewhere along the line.
Yeah, the creases were bigger back then.
Yeah, they were bigger, and
give him his space.
The crease could have been another 3 feet bigger, and Billy still would have protected it.
Protected the whole zone.
Yeah.
The dots in is mine. Barzal trying to take the puck away. Parisi was there. It's Palmieri who comes up with it. Romanov fires one. And then Dobson puts it back down. Barzal trying to shake off Kevin Ball. 22-year-old has had himself a strong camp here and has a chance to break camp with his Devils team. There are a lot of guys who will no doubt be ticketed for Utica of the American Hockey League, but there are still some players on this roster here tonight for the Devils that are fighting for some open spots.
That's the beauty of training camp, and that's why you come to training camp and hope to make an impression.
Ryan Pollock quickly into the near side for Matt Barzal. In need of a change as the puck transitions back ahead. The bouncing puck. Barzal trying to grab it on the way by. Instead, he will travel towards the bench as Pollock with control of it, trying to keep it out of the Islander zone. Pushed past him off the linesman. And now Pelech for Ratu. Snaps a pass on through for Soshnikov, who saw Bellows breaking. Pass hit the skate of Smith, and now it's Ratu turning, shooting, scoring! Ratu up over the glove of Blackwood.
That was impressive. First off, he gets up the ice and makes a beautiful quick release pass up around the blue line to his teammate, and then they go to work down low. And what a shot! I mean, he's got some credentials that he's brought with him, but watch this quick pass right up the middle, beautiful pass, and then they go to work. Little forecheck, hard working there by Koivu, and look at this shot. That was in the toy department, Brendan. But I love the release. Turn around, I know where the net is. I don't have to look. And he finds it up and over the glove of Blackwood, and Islanders have a 5-2, but everybody talked about this kid last spring, right, Brendan? I mean, they were talking a lot about him and how impressive he was, and well, he just gave us a small portion of what he's all about.
We got a good look at it at the 4-goal replay. Ratu just 19 years old. He's +4 tonight with a goal and an assist. Just 19 years old. This is a guy that was once thought of to be a top 3 pick in the draft. I mean, not top 3 rounds, top 3 overall. But he struggled as an 18-year-old in the top league in Finland, the pro league in Finland, playing against some older guys, and his draft stock fell. And he fell all the way to the Islanders in the second round, 52 overall. And the Islanders think they might have gotten a steal here.
Yeah, I think they did. I mean, just watching him from tonight, how smart he is, how quick he makes decisions. I mean, that pass in the middle of the ice to Koivu was really good, and then they followed up on the play, and that not a lot of guys can score that goal, Brendan.
Well, Ratu making an impression here. The 19-year-old with a goal and an assist, part of a 5-2 Islanders lead here in the third.
Not sure where to start with ED treatment? HIMS makes it simple, with a 100% online process and no in-person visit needed. First, complete a simple virtual consultation. Then, we match you with a licensed provider who can determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your order ships discreetly to your door for free with medications like Viagra, Cialis, and FDA-approved generics, plus a money-back guarantee. The search for ED treatment stops here. Get started today at 4hims.com.
Mom, are you okay?
I'm fine, honey. I just needed more oxygen. I also want you to know when my time comes, you won't have to worry about the cost of my homegoing.
What do you mean?
I was able to get final expense insurance, so you'll have enough, even a little extra. I just called the Final Expense Network, and they approved me right over the phone for $25,000 of coverage. It was so easy. I didn't even need a medical exam.
I'm just glad you're okay. I love you, Mom.
The average funeral costs $10,000. If you're age 50 to 80, why worry? For as little as $1 a day, you can have peace of mind from the brand names you know and trust. Your rates will never increase, your benefits will never decrease, and your policy can never be canceled. It's just one simple phone call. Knowledgeable people are standing by to help and answer all your questions. Call now, 800-238-9377. That's 800-238-9377.
Nobody covers the game like us. This is NHL Network.
Ratu had 41 points in 47 games in Finland's Liga last year. And you talk about the arc of his young career so far. As a 17-year-old, he made Finland's World Junior team. As an 18-year-old, he did not make the cut for Finland's World Junior team. As a 19-year-old, this summer he played, had 10 points in World Juniors for Team Finland.
Well, obviously it was poor management by Finland in the hit when he was in. Of course, I'm kidding. I'm not dumping on Finland. Listen, you know, a lot of things can happen with young people, but he's made an awful strong impression, certainly as a 19-year-old in the World Junior and at training camp. And I mean, the Islanders, they basically had assigned him to Bridgeport, and then with some injuries and some sickness and stuff like that, they say, wait a minute, let me see what you can do tonight. And he's responded pretty well. You mentioned it, +4.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Islanders, as the turnover here sends Holmstrom up ahead. The Islanders obviously have 5 goals in the game. He's been on the ice on the positive side of 4 of them. As Holmstrom can't find this puck, Soshnikov and Pelech got the assists on the Ratu goal. As this bouncing one gets through Zetterlund. And then Thompson tries to ride him off into the corner. And allowed Romanov to pick up the puck, but he put it right off the leg of referee Dan O'Rourke in the corner. He's hobbling around. That's a few words for Romanov as they head back up the ice.
Yeah, the ice isn't wide enough for you, kid. You know, I'm wearing a black and white striped suit here.
They mentioned the Islanders that are missing from the lineup, and yes, there are some question marks in terms of health. We don't really have much to go off of other than there are a few guys that have not practiced over the last few days. Cal Clutterbuck being one of them. Casey Cizikas left practice yesterday. Not a lot of guys on the ice tonight in this morning in what was an optional skate for today's game. So both Cizikas and Clutterbuck have missed time. Scott Mayfield has missed some time, and Oliver Wahlstrom has missed some time here over the last few days, missing some practices.
Certainly the way Ratu has played, he might earn himself a little more ice time here, and as far as games are concerned, especially with the game Saturday, as you mentioned, if there's some health issues with the Islanders.
There's Barzal darting to the outside and put one into the glove of Mackenzie Blackwood.
You notice the Islanders cruising through the slot a little bit more so far early in this season or the preseason, and puck back to defense, back to the high slot area, but they're not standing. It used to be, you move the puck to defense and the high forward would be standing at the blue line, so when he got it, he couldn't do as much with it. Now they seem to be cruising from the boards to the middle of the high slot and getting it, and they have more time to get something done.
That shot got through along the ice, and Blackwood able to push it away. Blackwood and Varlamov going the distance here in this preseason contest. We don't like to assume anything, but the assumption would be Sorokin would get the game on Saturday against the Rangers.
Absolutely, and that would lead me to believe Sorokin will start. Goaltenders like to play that last game and be fresh in their mind, although it's still going to be, 4 days before the next game?
Don't open until Thursday.
So there'll be some time for them to 2 or 3 real hard practices, and Coach Lane Lambert will really be able to assess a couple of areas that he feels his team can get better.
And just to add a little more juice to it, a little more fun, and maybe preseason, but I would expect Shesterkin-Sorokin on Saturday. The Rangers were supposed to play Igor Shesterkin last night in a preseason game, but he fell ill during warmups, and so Jaro Halak played the whole game. So you'd think they want to get him a game before the season begins, and that's their last chance.
Yeah, absolutely. If he's healthy, he'll definitely play. I was reading about a couple of the Ranger practices, and the guys ran Shesterkin over 2 or 3 times. And I think if I'm Coach Gallant, I got to go, hey, boys, that's our bread and butter there.
I want to bubble wrap that guy.
Yeah, you might want to just sort of stop short of the crease. Because if you hurt him, you're probably not making this team.
Dumped in by Romanov here with 6.5 to go. Brock Nelson right back where it came from to Ross Johnston.
The Islanders didn't have what I would call a great first period. It was kind of mediocre for both teams, but they've really taken, I think, control as the game's gone on. They've gotten stronger and stronger, and they should. I mean, in fairness to the Devils, they haven't brought a lot of their regulars. Not that the Islanders have played all of theirs, but from an experience-wise, I would guess that you would think that the Islanders would be able to control this game, and they have. They've worked hard. They have been the better team, and expectations were exactly that.
Adam Pelling lost the puck to Holtz, who, as he's falling, tried to center that one. Ryan Pulock will start ahead, but Villiers will chip it in. Talk about the Islanders' question marks in terms of health. There is a giant question mark for the New Jersey Devils, hoping that Nico Hischier will be ready in time for opening night, as the puck has been iced here. He went down with a hamstring strain last week. They initially said they're going to reevaluate him here this weekend, but it is still a question mark whether or not Nico Hischier will be ready for opening.
And he's a really good player for the Devils. He's the captain and plays a super game, and Lindy Ruff will have to shuffle the deck a little bit if he's not ready to go.
Off the draw. It's won by Boquist, and now it's Bastian and Ledoux in a race, and the Islanders get the benefit of it out there as Ledoux and Bastian separated by the linesman. Icing and a face-off back in the Devils' zone.
Yeah, you could see Romanov as he was racing for the puck, and it was a good race, and he just kind of leaned in a little bit to cut him off just a hair, just to take advantage, and no interference there. Pretty smart individual. And he's a young guy too. He's still learning the game, but full of energy, and obviously as his teammates have been talking about, he loves to play.
He's 22 years old. He was traded while he was a restricted free agent, so the Islanders had to get him signed. They signed him to a 3-year contract. That starts this year. He'll be a restricted free agent when that contract is done too. So under team control for the foreseeable future, which is one of the reasons why the Islanders were willing to part with a first-round pick in order to get him.
Yeah, good move by Lou Lamoriello for me. I mean, at 22, you didn't pick up a 31-year-old that you're, okay, how long is he going to be? 22-year-old is going to be around a while.
Final 5 minutes of action when we come back to UBS Arena with the Islanders up 4-2 on New Jersey.
Wear by Erin Andrews, my sportswear collection for all women, is now officially licensed with more leagues. Women can support their teams in fashion-forward apparel everywhere, anywhere. Find it at fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Smile Direct Club.
You pop them in, you go to bed, and they do all the work.
Straighten your teeth while you sleep with Smile Direct Club nighttime aligners.
They don't interfere with your daily lifestyle at all.
Choose easy. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
You plan to bring extra office cheer with the promotional product experts at 4imprint who attended to every detail. Did you brighten the holidays? Oh, you certainly did. For the right products printed perfectly, go to 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
You know, I wanted to find another path to a new career.
Confidence to become more independent.
Flexibility, freedom. You can find a great job.
Coursera gave me the opportunity to rethink possibilities.
Breaking that barrier opened the doors for me.
Learning can be tough at first, but once you get it, the sky's the limit.
This is the dream I've always wanted.
Learn without limits with over 5,000 courses and degrees from world-class institutions on Coursera.
There's a lot to talk about during the season, and the conversation starts right here. I'm talking about NHL Network's season-long coverage with live shows and live games all week long. When you post, tweet, or talk hockey, make NHL Network part of the conversation.
This is NHL Network.
Season action tonight here at UBS Arena. Islanders with a 5-2 lead, and Kyle Palmieri, who is slotted in a line with Matt Barzal and Zach Parise here. You would assume to start this season. Had 15 goals in 69 games in his first full season with the Islanders, but like so many, this is a familiar story we've talked about. Slow start, strong finish. You hope that he can pick up where he left off last year here at the start of this year. A little more comfortable, perhaps.
Yeah, 15 goals in about 40 games, right? I mean, pretty close to a 30-goal season.
14 in the last 40.
Yeah, so real strong finish. And you know, and just watching him, I mean, obviously the thought is that he's going to play with Barzal. He's a goal scorer. Get yourself in position. But I've been watching that line really closely, just for the chemistry, if for no other reason. How is he, you know, reading Barzal, and how is Barzal reading both Parise and Palmieri? And I like what I see. And Palmieri seems to be very, very comfortable with Barzal. He's finding holes. He's not trying to jam the net, which he did a lot of last year. He's hanging back a little bit more, Brendan. So he's finding the open spots, and then he has room to be able to shoot the puck. So I think he sees this as a great opportunity to play with a very good hockey player, as does the other two. And I like what I see so far in this one game.
Varlamov will hang on to this and glove it down. And you wonder, Butch, and there are so many things that have gone well for the New York Islanders as a franchise in terms of getting their home solidified and building this beautiful building. You talk about factors about what could bring in potential free agents. What if I told you that Matt Barzal was guaranteed to be a New York Islander for the next 9 years? Is that something that could factor in, you think, for free agents of guys? He's the type of player that guys want to come play with, right?
If I'm a left winger,
yeah,
I definitely want to come here because, you know, not so much with him, but more often right-handed centermen pass it to the left side. So if I'm a lefty, I'm thinking that's where I want to go. But yeah, you want to play with great players because they're going to make you better. You heard Barzal say, I want to make people around me better. Well, boy, that's an opportunity for any hockey player to have a big season. You have a big season, you get big money. So you put it all together. But yeah, Barzal being here certainly should be a ticket for other players to come and play here. And you know, everybody was upset with Johnny Gaudreau not coming here. And you know what? That was, in my opinion, that was a mistake by him. He would have an opportunity to play with a top-notch center, good hockey team. Had his own reasons, but. More and more players are going to want to find their way to this facility and this hockey team.
Kevin Ball settling things down for the New Jersey Devils. Zetterlund won a battle there against Brock Nelson and tossed it off to the corner.
He's had a good game, Zetterlund. You know, you called his name a number of times, and for me, that's always a sign that the player is involved. When, Brendan, you're calling his name as often as you have with him.
Well, he's a guy that last year had scored 24 goals in 58 games in Utica. They had a very good American Hockey League team, the New Jersey Devils did, which is always a good sign for things to come at the NHL level. But he got called up at the end of the year, played 11 games towards the end of the season, had 8 points, 3 goals, 5 assists in 11 games.
Yeah, that's you know, pretty good start. And you know, I talked about at the start of this game, Brent. You have to make an impression. I mean, you get a chance, you've got to make an impression, and obviously he did last year, and that's why he's getting a good, long, hard look with the Devils right now.
Adam Pelech pumps and waits, hands off for Beauvillier, return to Pelech, and that one fired wide, but a nicely designed play pulled off between Beauvillier and Pelech. Pelech got it again.
Adam Pelech, a little give and go, moved into the hole there, got a good shot, got to hit the net.
Down to the final 2:15 of this one. Both these teams open the regular season 1 week from tonight. Islanders at home hosting the Florida Panthers. The Devils are on the road in Philadelphia next Thursday. And their home opener Saturday against the Red Wings.
New coach in Philadelphia, John Tortorella.
Not a new coach, but a different coach.
Well, new for the Flyers, and very familiar name in the New York area. One thing about Torch, you know that they're going to work.
It's an interesting choice for that team with where they are as a franchise to bring in a guy like John Tortorella, who you think is more of a finishing touches type coach, right?
Yeah, and I think the feeling in Philly was they kind of lost their identity a little bit. Philly's always been a hard-working team, a physical hockey team, and I think over the last 2-3 years they've really gotten away from that. And Philadelphia fans like that type of hockey, that brand, and that's the way Torch coach. That's what he demands from his team, and you don't want to play his way. Well, guess what? You're not going to play.
Matt Martin able to keep it in for just a moment. Now Brendan Smith snaps a pass across. Foot whiffed on it. Puck just caught an edge and jumped over his stick as he went to pull the trigger. And Otto Koivula the other way with Martin. Handed off for Johnston. Poke checked at the line by Ohotuk. And as the Islanders are in under the late offside, the Devils have time to make a change.
Ross needs to get in that right away. He dusted it off, and you got to stay in the right mentality. Last minute of play, you don't want to get scored on you. You got enough goals. You won the hockey game. Don't be a minus.
Salo moves it off the wall.
Salo's been good, Brendan. He's had a real strong game, and nothing glaring out there. Just a solid game. Showed some offense. And that bodes well for him if he continues to play like that. He's going to earn himself a spot, and not as a seventh defenseman, possibly as that 5'6" guy with Scott Mayfield.
Final seconds winding off here as Varlamov out to play it. Islanders fans that made the trip out here to UBS happy with the result here tonight as Atu Ratu playing into the horn. And he's had himself a heck of a hockey game. Islanders take this one 5-2 from New Jersey.
Yeah, well played game for the Islanders. Exhibition game, yes, but you want to do things the right way as best you can with the intensity that's out there. I thought they did a pretty.
The Islanders put up a 5 spot at home against the Devils, and it's a 5-2 final in this preseason matchup